In this lecture, we will discuss the second method for analysis of heat exchanger, that is effectiveness NTU method. So let's first recall LMTD method. So in case of LMTD method, normally three temperatures are given to us. So based on these three temperatures, using these MCP delta T equations, we can find out the fourth temperature. So here, this equation represents the heat lost by the hot fluid and the same heat that will be absorbed by the cold fluid. So we can equate this heat quantity and we can find out the fourth temperature. And once all the four temperatures are known to us, then we can calculate temperature difference at the inlet of heat exchanger, that is delta Ti, and temperature difference at the exit of heat exchanger, that is delta To. And from this delta Ti and delta To, we can find out the LMTD, that is a logarithmic mean temperature difference, delta Ti minus delta To upon ln of delta Ti by delta To. And from delta Tm, we can use the third equation of heat transfer, that is UA delta Tm. And from this equation, we can find out heat exchanger area. Or if the heat exchanger area is given to us, we can find out the rate of heat transfer. But if only two temperatures are known, then we have to perform trial error method. So here we have to guess the value of other two temperatures, and we have to equate these heat quantities by trial and an error method. So that is tedious one. So Kay and London in 1955 came up with the method called effectiveness NTU method. So in industry, there are two different categories of problems that exist. The one in which we have to ask to design or select a heat exchanger that will achieve a specified temperature change in a fluid stream of a known mass flow rate. So in this case, the temperature change means all the temperatures are known to us and the mass flow rate of the fluids are also given to us, and we have to design a heat exchanger. So that is basically LMTD method. The other problem where we have to predict the outlet temperatures of hot and cold fluid in a specified heat exchanger. So here the heat exchanger is given to us and we have to predict the exit temperatures of heat exchangers. So there we have to use the effectiveness NTU method. Now let's see what are the differences between the LMTD and effectiveness NTU. If we want to summarize, then in case of LMTD, the heat exchanger is not available to us. Whereas in case of effectiveness NTU method, the heat exchanger is available to us. And heat LMTD is a design or selection kind of problem. Whereas in effectiveness, we have to predict the performance of heat exchanger. So here the desired rate of heat transfer between the hot and cold fluid is known to us. That is, the rate of heat transfer is known to us in case of LMTD. Whereas the rate of heat transfer between hot and cold fluid is unknown in case of effectiveness NTU method. And here in LMTD, the desired temperature of hot and cold fluids are known. This we have to achieve through the heat exchanger. Whereas here outlet temperatures of hot and cold fluid are unknown. Means we have to predict the outlet temperatures of hot and cold fluid. And in LMTD, the heat exchanger area is unknown. We have to calculate the heat transfer area. Whereas here the heat transfer area is known to us. So this is how we can summarize the difference between LMTD and effectiveness NTU method. So in general, LMTD method is for design of heat exchanger. All the values are provided by the client, whereas effectiveness NTU is more kind of a to prediction of performance type of problem. So here we have to check the exit temperatures. So we have to predict the performance under off design condition. So all the values, that is specific heat of hot and cold fluid, mass flow rate of hot and cold fluid, and all the temperatures are easily known to us in case of LMTD. And here we have to calculate the exit temperatures of hot and cold fluid. Now let us understand what is heat capacity. That is very essential in case of effectiveness NTU method. So in heat exchanger analysis, it is often convenient to combine the product of mass flow rate and the specific heat of a fluid in a single quantity. So this single quantity is known as a heat capacity. So for example, if the hot fluid is losing the heat, that is mCp delta T, and this is the cold fluid which is gaining or absorbing the heat, that is mCp delta T. So here m into Cp. So this quantity is basically known as a heat capacity, and we can define it as capital C. CH is for hot fluid, that is mH into Cph, and Cc is for a cold fluid, that is mC into Cpc. So this product of mass flow rate and the specific heat is basically a heat capacity. So this we will use in analysis of heat exchanger by effectiveness NTU method. In few textbook, it can be represented by capital R. Now, for effectiveness NTU, for derivation of effectiveness NTU expression, first we have to define three terms. So first term is effectiveness. The second term is heat capacity ratio. It may be designated as capital C or capital R. The number of transfer unit, that is NTU. So we have to understand these three terms. So let's take first effectiveness. So the definition of effectiveness is the ratio of actual heat transfer to maximum possible heat transfer. So Q actual, Q to Q max. Now it is easy to calculate the actual heat transfer, that is simply mCp delta T. You can take the mass flow rate, specific heat, and the temperature difference undergo by a fluid. But how to understand what is Qmax? So that we will see now. So what is Qmax? So Qmax we can write down by this way. Qmax is equal to m into Cp, that is a heat capacity. It should be minimum and the delta T should be maximum. So that is the expression for Qmax. Now we'll see what it defines. So let's take a parallel flow heat exchanger. So the hot fluid's temperature reduces from Thi to Tho, and the cold fluid's temperature will increase from Tci to Tco. And these are the temperature difference at inlet and exit of the heat exchanger. Now the hot fluid, the heat lost by the hot fluid, and this is a heat gained by the cold fluid represented by mCp delta T. So from this equation, we can see the rate of heat transfer. It depends on two quantities, that is specific heat and the temperature difference. Now to achieve the Qmax, maximum rate of heat transfer, this delta T should be very high. The delta T should be high and the specific heat should be low. Now why this specific heat should be low? Because if the specific heat is more, then it stores more amount of heat. So it results in less temperature rise, and also less heat is available for the transfer, because we know the specific heat is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature by a unit degree. So if the Cp is more, that means it required more heat to show a rise in temperature. So Cp should be less and the temperature difference should be high. Or in another word, we can say for delta T to be high, the Cp has to be low. Then only we can see a greater change in temperature of both the fluids. So in case of counter flow heat exchanger, these are the delta T and delta To. So here you can see the maximum heat transfer occurs when this Tco, that is a cold fluid outlet temperature, reaches to equal to a THI, that is the hot fluid's inlet temperature, because we are heating the cold fluid. So at the exit of heat exchanger, this TCO should be equal to THI. Then we can say the heat transfer is maximum. So TCO equal to THI, or we can say the maximum temperature difference inside the heat exchanger is basically THI and TCI. So THI minus TCI basically represents the maximum temperature difference inside the heat exchanger. So maximum temperature difference we can we can assume as THI minus TCI. So this delta T max we can write down THI minus TCI. That these are the two extreme temperatures inside the heat exchanger. So now onwards, we will take delta T max as THI minus TCI. Always delta T max will be THI minus TCI. Two extreme temperatures inside the heat exchanger. So Qmax is MCP minimum, that is minimum heat capacity, into delta T max. So this delta T max we will always write down THI minus TCI, and for MCP minimum we have to compare the mass flow rate and specific heat, product of mass flow rate and specific heat for both the fluids, hot fluid and cold fluid, and whichever is the lesser value that we have to put here. So thereby we can calculate the Qmax. This term remains fixed, THI minus TCI. This term is variable, either hot fluid will be here or cold fluid will be here. So now how to write down the effectiveness equation. So there will be two different cases for which we need to write down the effectiveness. So case number one, if the heat capacity of hot fluid is less than the cold fluid, and case number two, if the heat capacity of cold fluid is less than the hot fluid. And we know heat capacity is a product of mass flow rate into specific heat. So in this case, MHCPH, that is the heat capacity of hot fluid, that is less than the heat capacity of cold fluid. So MHCPH is less than MCCPC. And in this case, heat capacity for cold fluid is less, means MCCPC is less than MHCPH. Now first, let's take this case. So here effectiveness by definition is Q actual upon Q max. So Qmax we can write down easily. Here the hot fluids capacity is less, so we can write down C minimum, that is a hot fluids. So MHCPH, that is our MC minimum. So MHCPH into THI minus TCI, this is a fixed term. And here we have to write down the MCP delta T for the hot fluid. So MHCPH THI minus THO. So these two terms get cancelled out. Here you can write down the for cold fluid also, but then you cannot cancel out these two terms. So always in numerator write down MCP delta T for the fluid whose heat capacity is less. So we can cancel out these two terms. So we can get effectiveness in terms of temperature difference. So effectiveness, that is THI minus TCI, and here THI minus THO. Same here, the effectiveness by definition Q actual upon Q max. Here the heat capacity for cold fluid is less, so we have to write down here MCCPC. This will be the fixed THI minus TCI, and again in numerator we have to write down MCP delta T for cold fluid. So here MCCPC TCO minus TCI. So these two terms will get cancelled out. So effectiveness is TCO minus TCI, THI minus TCI. So depending on the case, if you want to write down the effectiveness directly in terms of temperature difference, you can write down this way. Uh, Always write down THI minus TCI in denominator, THI minus TCI, and numerator write down temperature difference for the fluid whose heat capacity is less. For example, here hot fluid, so directly write down THI minus THO. Here the heat capacity for cold fluid is less, so you can write down TCO minus TCI. In denominator always there will be THI minus TCI. Now we'll see what is heat capacity ratio. So it is the ratio of minimum heat capacity to maximum heat capacity. So C minimum by C maximum, minimum heat capacity rate divided by maximum heat capacity rate. So first we have to compare the heat capacity. So CH first we have to find out, that is MH into CPH, and MC into CPC, that is CC. So the product of mass flow rate into specific heat first we have to calculate, then we have to compare, and then accordingly we have to write down here. So how to write down the heat capacity ratio? So again we have two cases, heat capacity for hot fluid is less, and here the heat capacity for cold fluid is less. So MHCPH is less than MCCPC, here MCCPC is less than MHCPH. And we know by definition, the heat capacity ratio is C min by C max. Now here M into Cp value that we can calculate from MCP delta T equation. So we can equate this MCP delta T for hot fluid and cold fluid. So if you want to write down MHCPH by MCCPC, so MHCPH by MCCPC, then this term will go here in denominator. So this will be TCO minus TCI upon THI minus THO. So heat capacity ratio we can directly write down in terms of temperature difference. So here it will be TCO minus TCI upon THI minus THO. The same here, the heat capacity here MC, the heat capacity for cold fluid is less. So we have to write down MCCPC by MHCPH. And accordingly MCCPC by MHCPH, so we can, this term, this will go in denominator. So TCO minus TCI. So in general, if you want to write down the heat capacity ratio, then we can write down this way. We can write down the temperature difference of the fluid whose heat capacity is less. So here MHCPH is less. So directly you can write down the temperature difference of hot fluid, and the other fluid you can write down in numerator. Here also the heat capacity for cold fluid is less. So directly you can write down the temperature difference for cold fluid, that is TCO minus TCI, and the other fluid temperature difference you can write down in numerator. Now let's understand what is NTU, that is number of transfer unit. So NTU is specified as UA, that is overall heat transfer coefficient, into area of heat exchange divided by C minimum. So NTU is proportional to heat exchanger area. Therefore, for a specified value of overall heat transfer coefficient and C minimum, the value of NTU is a measure of heat transfer surface area. So larger the NTU, the larger will be the heat exchanger. So it is basically a measure of size of the heat exchanger. So it can be shown that the effectiveness of heat exchanger is a function of number of transfer unit NTU and the heat capacity ratio capital C, that we will see. So let's summarize how to write down effectiveness and heat capacity ratio again. So if the MHCPH is less than MCCPC, then you can write down effectiveness this way, always THI minus TCI. And since for the hot fluid M into Cp is less, so you can write down here the temperature difference for hot fluid. And if the MCCPC is less, means cold fluids heat capacity is less, then always you can write down in denominator THI minus TCI. And since the cold fluids MCP is less, so you can write down the cold fluids temperature difference, that TCO minus TCI. And heat capacity ratio, if the mass flow MH into CPH is less, then you should write down its temperature difference in denominator, and the other fluids, that is cold fluids, its temperature difference in numerator, so TCO minus TCI. And here also if MCCPC is less, means in the denominator you have to write down the TCO minus TCI, and the other fluids temperature in numerator, so THI minus THO. So by solving the numericals directly, you have to write down effectiveness and heat capacity ratio in terms of temperature difference. Thank you so much.